So welcome back. This is a little review on the WWW stove titanium sold by LuxGear. I've had it for about 9 months now, and I've used it on 4 different trips. It's uh, it's a great stove. I was a little apprehensive about it in the beginning. This stove has really proved itself, and I've been asked a lot of questions about it. And the one thing I would say about putting it together, what's very, very helpful, you have to be very careful on these side panels to get them into the upper and the lower groove. So when you're setting this up by yourself, it's very helpful to get a strap. Once you get everything set together correctly, get a strap on there and just give it a little bit of a tightener. It'll really help hold it together while you put these rods in. You want the rod to be loosen the wing nut up on the bottom a little bit. You want the rod to be able to go through that top hole so that you can start screwing on these corresponding flat nuts on the top, and that's a big help. So these come with a stainless steel stovepipe. There's been a lot of questions about whether or not I think that stovepipe is any good. I think the stainless steel pipe is great. The pipe was $30. It was 7.5 feet long. Try and get a titanium pipe for that price. You're not going to get it. And I believe, from what I've seen so far, that the stainless steel is going to last just as long, if not longer, than a titanium. Uh, the stove itself, without the pipe, weighs 2 pounds 14 ounces. It's a light stove. Now, I can build a stove this light, and I have all the tools. I have metal brakes and everything. Most people are not going to. This is a superior value. It really is. This is a very, very good value for a titanium stove, and I really can't say enough good things about it. This window is absolutely awesome. I love that window. The light that it puts into the tent is so nice. It just is awesome. And I use tents with floors. All my tents are floored. So you can't just leave a stove door open for the ambiance, you know. You got to close the door or you're going to get holes from sparks flying out. And so that window is incredibly great for me. If you get that window dirty, which you're going to get it dirty, just take Easy Off oven cleaner, put it on there, and let it soak, and it'll come right off. It's quite easy to do that. This situation here, at first I was a little suspect of. It's just this little collar that sits in here, and it folds flat for packing. It actually is pretty decent. The damper works great. Having a spark arrestor accessible is wonderful. You have to have a spark arrestor by law in the national forests and the national parks in the States. Where I burn, or where I do most of my camping outside of Canoe Country, is the Rockies, and we're full of beetle kill. This will plug up every single night before you get through the night, because beetle kill is basically sapwood. That's what it is. The tree puts out that sap to battle the beetles. So get yourself one of those little brushes, steel brushes from like Harbor Freight. They're about as big as this pin. You can get them in brass or steel, stainless steel bristles, and you can clean this very easily with it. There's another company out there that, I don't know, somehow or another, they have their spark arrestor up either on the end of the stovepipe or actually inside the roll-up stovepipe. And last fall, these sheep hunters awoke in the middle of the night, their tent full of smoke. That spark arrestor was full and of sap, and they had to toss the tent, or the stove, out of the tent and get the stovepipe off to get to the spark arrestor. You just pull this out, and if it does plug up in the middle of the night, especially if there's snow on the ground, throw it on down under the stove and go back to sleep. That's really nice. It's helpful if you bring a clamp, like an automobile clamp, you know, a stainless steel clamp with the screw on it, to put around here, like a radiator clamp. You could get a little more jiggy with it, and if you're good with tools, you could go, say, a half, 3/4 of an inch up from the bottom of your stovepipe and drill corresponding holes for those 4 rivets. slip up your stove collar, your little wire collars, and spread the pipe out, put them over those 4 rivets, and then slide your clamp, your little wire clamp back down on there, and that would work pretty darn good. I wouldn't put any real heavy cookware on here. Like, I wouldn't recommend cast and stuff. This is pretty light. A bottom tray or something where you can put rocks or weight on it to stabilize this stove is highly recommended. If you're in a floorless shelter, you can just take some strapping, aluminum strapping, drill some holes in it, and then stake the stove down, or buy the accessory, which is a pan like this. This is actually an aluminum cookie sheet that I got at a secondhand store, and it is about the same weight as the titanium pan, and it was $1. I think the titanium pan sells for $45, but it might be just worth ordering it when you order the stove. To give you an idea on cooking, everybody seems to have a little MSR titanium pot like that, and you could put 2 of those on there, okay? Or an 8-inch frying pan fits on there nicely, or an aluminum pot like this, or my all-time favorite pot right here. Plenty of cooking service. I can't recommend this stove enough. It's a good value. And anyway, thanks for joining me. And if you do get one of these, I hope you enjoy it.